Welcome, Marcus Man Adventures. As always, I'm Scott. Today we're back working on Cerberus, our 1989 E250 Quigley converted van, and we are once again working on the front end. I'm working on wheel bearings, so most of the stuff that I've done before has already been seen. I've already done the other side completely, so we're just going to do a time lapse, and then once I get to the actual bearing part, I'll walk you through it. So let's get started on it. Alright, so next thing you need to do, so I got all that pulled off. You guys seen that happen before. Next thing you need to do is be able to, I use the, just have a good decent sledgehammer of some sort. I need to get different. Screw this one, but, and then just punch the actual bearing out with the oil seal. Alright. Should be right there. And next, you want to try and find, well, actually, the next thing you want to do is actually bring it over from the other side. I mean, if you really want to, you can get yourself set up with a press and all that stuff, but it's not really necessary. Really, you want to be as careful with the your actual braking surfaces. I think this, and then find you a couple of decent rags. Wipe as much of this out. Helps you be able to locate the actual like, so you got a big old grease pocket between the two bearing surfaces. One facing inside, one facing outside. So I clean that pocket out so you can actually see where you're trying. And you just want to knock the inner bearing race out for sure. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, you're gonna take and get some gunk on it, but it just makes it easier if you clean it up. The cleaner you keep it, the easier it's going to be to get it later. So there you go. Actually, I think, yeah, here we go. Now you can see that outer bearing surface probably gonna be easier. I got it backwards there for a second. Yeah, you can see it there. Want to, you can take, flip it like that. Nope, it's gonna move my piece. Grab another rag. More of those rags. But that should be good enough. Oh, here a little more. Just grab the. Let me clean it perfect, just where you can see the lip, the bearing. Then all you gotta do is start right there on the edge. Yeah. I don't know if there's too much spring in it. There we go. Work it around. There we go. We know there can be a clean freaking bag. Oh, we got grease on this one. right back. There you go. I need to keep that. So I've already got a set of races. I just kept my other set, but it's a good idea to keep some of these races. Is out of race. They make good punches. Sometimes they may not be so easy to drive out like that one has. So you can either, if they're tight, you can take and grind some of these down and use them to either punch things back out or to punch them in so they fit easy. It's just a good idea to keep them. I already got a set, so I need to keep these. So in the trash they go. Next, you got your outer or inner. Yeah, this one's, and they're better than the last one. Doesn't like the rebound of that hammer or of that handle. There you go. Look at that. You want to make sure you're moving around. Also to get uneven and start wedging itself in there. It doesn't look like it's even moving. I'm not hitting the wrong piece. Ooh, I am. All right, so I messed up. So I was sitting on that bearing there. So hitting on the bearing seat, I almost messed up. So I was sitting on the bearing, or the bearing land. It's fine, just almost messed up. There's the bearing seat. Damn, I'm an idiot sometimes. There we go, that's better. Can figure out why that was acting the way it was. Not much slip on that. There we go. And that one's out. Cool. So there again, get some more rags. You can be as clean about this as you want, but I don't see a point in getting all the grease out. Just like wipe it up good. If you feel a need, you can go and pull the freaking thing out, soak it in the dam in a hot tank, do whatever you want. As long as, to me, the only important part is right here. You want to make sure you get a lot of the grease, everything out here, so your bearings sit and are pressed in pretty good. I'm gonna get some brake clean and clean this bearing surface, mating surface off. Camera. Huh? Yeah, I got her caught up today. Before I came out here, before I sent her into the shower. Yep. I'll get these. I think I'll get this hog on and load up. It'll be no big deal. spray some on the rag. And I really want to do it easy. You can put this thing in an oven for a little bit. So I got my inner races sitting in the cooler. It's not going to be, as it's sitting right now, it's not going to shrink the race enough to just slide in there. So you're going to have to freaking pound it down into it. But it's going to be easier than if I just left them at ambient temp. But yeah, you could actually, if you're like doing a new install or something like that, and your hub wasn't into the disc already, and you're just putting bearings in, you could actually take your hub, put it in the oven, you know, at 400 or whatever, let it set for a while. It would expand the hub. You can actually, at that point, be able to drop your freaking bearing, your cold bearing in, and everything cooled and extract and all that stuff would actually seat itself pretty good. But right now, my bearing's sitting in the freezer. I'm gonna go grab it, and it'll be easier to press in. Now, some people like to use bearing installation tools. Sometimes I've used them and they work pretty good. Other times they've kind of screwed me over, so because you get too confident because it's not straight in, and then you start pounding it in there and it ends up getting sideways and things don't go great. Where did my, there it is. I kind of like just doing it this way. And don't use anything that's hardened, because if you skip like how I did there, you're gonna hurt your race. That's the one thing. Now, like once you get down to where it's fully seated, those bearing insulation tools are kind of nice, because then you don't end up like where I'm at here, to where you're like just kind of beating on the lip there. But we're seated right now. But yeah, don't use, when you're doing this, don't use a hardened tool, because you can scratch your bearing surface. You don't want to do that. This is a softer metal. My brass punch is really screwed up, so I'm not using that right now, or else I'd be using it. I've actually in the past used my brass hammer, if I can, but this works pretty good because it's soft. You can tell it's mushroom's pretty easy. But yeah, it's seated. Flip it over, you can see seated in there good. All right, we'll do same thing. We'll clean up on the inside. Well, it looks like I'm getting invaded by some water. Next we'll get the other bearing. Close. All right, sounds like we're there. Yep. You hear the sound change once you hit bottom. There we go. Let's just verify. Yep. Bottom up all the way. So, next thing we're going to do is pack some bearings. Rotate this around so I don't get any bearing gunk or grease on my do the big one first. We're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Get a clob of grease and just go take a bite. You start seeing it come out the top. And just spin it. Keep pumping the grease through. Grease on the camera, that's always good. You make sure. See, still pushing the grease through. You know you made it through all the way. Just keep. All right. Okay, we're good to go on that one. Let's go ahead. We'll just set it in the bearing holder. Grab another chunk. Do the easy one now. All right, that looks like it's good to go. One more check. See, it feels like it missed something somewhere. Nope. Yep, we're good. All right. So we'll put that right there. Much this nasty stuff off of here. Pull that off of there. And then if I can move. The next thing I gotta do is start packing the gap in between the two bearing sections. Pack it with grease. So one of these size cans of freaking grease should be just about perfect amount to go through packing one set of full-size wheel bearings. Like, you know, pull them apart and then pack in between, and then have enough to be able to pack in between this part, your spindle, and then to redo your hubs. Okay. So you don't want to shove all your grease into, I'll have to get my hands if I'll show you. I always like putting some on the spindle itself. You pack that in there, and then I'm not going to clean all these off so much as I don't know if you can see, but like the hub and all the locking hub parts over here, like this, I'm gonna wipe them down, all that stuff. I'll clean the lock nut and all that, but like the hub part, I'm just gonna wipe it down pretty good, and then coat it back up with some of this newer grease. All right, so next thing I'm gonna do is we got to put, before I forget, because I've done it before, shove that in there. Shove as much grease into that part as possible. Then these ones are done. So now you got to find a way to, as cleanly as possible, get these off. There we go. Dispose of them. Yeah, it's done. Okay. Next, so you're going to want to have a decent sealing surface for that. So start on the outside. No, you don't want any type of cleaner on the inside, because you don't want to break down the grease. But just take it and like so. Okay. And after you get the seal put in, you can put and pack some more grease on the inside, but you just don't want to have too much. You want this clean, okay? It doesn't need to be perfect, just decent. All right. Or you want to hit on this part, not on the seal. Okay. All right. Want help from the insulation? Take some grease from there or there, so your seal doesn't spin on you, and good to go. All right, and next, and there we go, that's what I was showing you before. Put some onto there. And at this point, find you another clean rag. Spray some brake clean on the back side of your rotor. Don't get it on the inside. Clean it off good. Huh? All right. So this first time, it's kind of a pain in the butt to get this thing on there. Grab the bearing. There we go. And secure the bearing in, and we're good to go. Okay, y'all seen this before. It's not any different than last time I've done this. Bearings in, everything's gonna be the same. So it's gonna be turning it. You're gonna take and torque it down to 50 foot-pounds with the lock nut. Then you're gonna back it off till it's loose, then torque it back down to 25 foot-pounds, put on the spacer ring or lock ring here, boom, and then torque it back down to 120 foot-pounds. Final, put the hub back together and all that shit. So we're just gonna time lapse it and be done with that. Let's get this thing done. All right. All right, so battery died there towards the end. Wasn't nothing too important, nothing that has been covered in under other videos, so I just let it go. But we're all done. Everything's put back together. Hubs work. Everything's torqued back on. So there again, just cover it all. The spindle nuts, inner spindle nut, you take it and tighten it down to 50 foot-pounds as you're spinning the whole hub. Back it off till it's loose, and then you bring it back down. That's your initial torque, like to seat the bearings, and then you bring it to 25 foot-pounds or 0 end play, pretty much, where there's a spec, but pretty much it's 0 end play. A lot of guys just do that by feel. I ain't those guys. And then you take and do your lock ring, and it's just got holes in it. You got hole, and then you have a nipple on that first freaking spindle nut. You flip it, either fits one way or the other. Generally, I've never had to freaking rearrange. There's enough slop in the spindle nut to lock it in place. You get it in there, you lock your freaking spindle nut in place, or your lock nut in place. 120 foot-pounds. There's a lot of freaking stuff. 100 to 120 foot-pounds. Just want to make sure it doesn't come back out. And then you'll grease up your, lube everything out, put your freaking hub together, and then torque spec 150 to 160 foot-pounds on this. Make sure your freaking your hubs work before you put everything back together finally, and everything's good here. I do have one thing. I got a one of my, I think it's this one here. Yeah, you can, my front bushing is gone. I got everything replaced on. These things will work as a 3-link, honestly. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll let it be. It makes noise, that's about it. All the other ones are tight, so we'll take it out probably today, check everything. I know if it gets hot again, it's not bearings. I know the bearings need to replace. If it still gets hot, I'm going to say that I need to replace my slides and possibly even my backing plates and calipers, because they just got too much corrosion on them, and they're not floating, you know. I got my hands, and it's causing friction. The weird part is this is the one that was eating the inside. It wasn't getting hot. The other side was getting hot. I don't know. I think we should be good. And I don't know. I did add a bunch of grease. It's a good grease, new grease. Torqued everything to specs. Good bearings, new bearings, right bearings. I would add my bearings into this, but these are all ordered to freaking spec, all that stuff. So just if you have a fucking Quigley, they will give you your stuff. Call Quigley, email Quigley. They're really responsive. Like within a day you'll get something back. Work day, sometime within the same day. They've got a questionnaire, a form, all that stuff. Send them your VIN. They'll give you a whole build sheet. You have individual questions about it. You can ask them straight up stuff. And like with the Timken bearing, because they had other bearings listed on the build sheet, I asked them, they said, use these bearings. They're easier to find, they're cheaper. I did. They're easy to get. I think I paid less than 200 bucks for the bearings and seals and all that stuff. Everything except for the seals were found on Amazon. I had to get the seals off of not eBay. They were easy to find though. I could have gotten them, but they were cheaper off somewhere else. I think I could even get the seals off of Amazon. Yeah, everything's available still. They're just normal off-the-shelf bearings and all that. So yeah, there you go. I think that's this for this video. Next thing I'll be tackling will be the bushings, and eventually I got to get into rust repair, which is just going to be fun. So I got putting in cutting rockers off and putting in tube slider like things. But yeah, I'm not even going to videotape the freaking the test drive. Either it works or it won't. I might, before I edit, I'll just let you guys know. I'm not going to do a test drive video and all that stuff. Before I freaking publish this, I'll just tag it in at the end. Before I do my sign off, I'll let you guys know. So I'll go ahead and I'll go ahead and end the video here. Forgot to do the update. Ran great, works great. Has a little bit of heat, but should be it. Haven't driven it a whole bunch. I don't think I have any issues with it. If it is anything, the bearings I know are good. If it has anything it has to do, it's with the brakes, so that's a good thing. I have no issues. I know the brakes or the bearings themselves are fine. So yeah, bearing is good. Bearings are great. So yeah, there. I'll let you guys know how it went. But we're gonna be doing the wife's Rover here pretty soon. We gotta do the front timing and all that stuff. That's intimidated as hell out of that, 'cause that's a pretty big job. But I need to get the motor. I need to clear all this crap in here so that it's ticking out. So I need to get the motor put into here, the motor put into there, and then that motor thrown away and all that stuff, and then stuff put in storage, because I want to be able to do it in the garage. And then we're going to be working on getting this all lined up, all those mounts put over here, so I can put that on there and put that motor in here, and a fuel injection and turbo stuff on that. And we got a going Metro. That's going to get going. There'll be a boat video eventually. A few more things, I think, maybe on that trailer over there at some point, and maybe, I don't know if I have any more videos coming out on that F-150. I know I have a video with some headlight stuff. I don't know if I want to put it out or not. It's kind of just a space filler thing. If I need to, I can put one together. Ain't a nothing thing. And then daughter's rig will be coming off the trailer once I get this all done, so I can have more room. Once I have more room, because once his is mobile, it's gonna be put over there, because I'll be able to work on it in the corner. That way I can have my trailer back and we can start working on her travel all her panel wagon, because it doesn't have a lot to get going, but it needs to get done, because she's 15 in April, and I want to have that ready so she can actually start learning how to drive it when she has her driver's license. And I'm going to have to actually start, she's tiny, she's like barely, I think she's 5 foot. Yeah, she's still tiny like her mom. So I'm going to have to build the truck around her so that she can modify pedals and all that stuff. Might have to convert over to auto, because I don't know if she's even interested in driving a manual. I don't think I have an auto in this house anymore. So I'll have to source me an automatic transmission to put behind that, the IH motor. Anyways, yeah. So thanks for sticking around for this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We got a lot of stuff going on. Hopefully this can happen. This stuff ain't cheap, so it'd be nice to be able to get this thing kicking going to eventually make something, because right now it's all coming out of my pocket. So yeah, like I said, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And at the end of the day, if you're not dirty, you're not doing it right. Till next time, y'all have a good one.